Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all well. I'm just literally giving you an update in terms of what I'm doing today. I recently got myself a pair of Nike Tempo Next Percents. That's what I'm going to do, basically. Test them out today. I've just parked up somewhere. I'm going to go and do a tempo effort. Put them on in a second. And give them a whirl. So the next time you see me, probably looking a little bit sweaty after my session, but I will be able to give you a decent update in terms of how these shoes have performed, what I think of them, whether I'd recommend them for people, etc, etc. So I'll give you a quick shot. If you can see, nice and bright. I've got the orange pair here, as you can see. So yeah, I'm going to give them a whirl. I've not done so yet, I think, because I've been a bit of a wuss and it's been raining so much, so I've been sticking to the shoes that I've had recently. And yeah, let's give them a go, and I'll be able to tell you what I think of them. So yeah, good luck. See you shortly. Okay, so yeah, all done. Back from my tempo run. So what I actually did was 7.5 miles, 10 minutes or so just to warm up, stretch the legs off slightly, started my session, and which was 2 12-minute tempos with a 3-minute float in between, and then just to finish off by running a few miles just to kind of recover, warm down, etc. I did the whole thing in the Tempo Next Percent, as I said I was going to do. So yeah, really just to talk you through how they felt. Previously to that, every time I'd done a session, I've done this session a few times, only up to 10 minutes in the middle, so 2 10-minute tempos thrown in. I extended it to 12 to really give these a good test out, and also mean that I wasn't trying to kind of go a little bit too quick and prove that the shoe's slightly faster and so on. But yeah, previously to that, using the Carbon X for anything I did really that either a fartlek session or any tempo running was done in those. So yeah, really wanted to give these a really good test. If I just move the camera around, you can see they've taken a bit of a battering now. This is just all from the road. It is quite a lot. There's quite a lot of surface water, should I say, out there. Basingstoke has had quite a bit of rain over the last few weeks. And that's probably the reason why I've not sort of used them yet, because a bit worried that they were going to get a bit wet and muddy and so on. It's a dry day today, but there's still a lot of surface water around. And one thing that you can actually feel is in kind of greasier conditions, you just lose a bit of traction. And one thing I would say, going back to the Carbon X, even though they don't have a huge kind of amount of outsole on the bottom, the actual grip that it does provide is very, very good. The weight of the Carbon X is slightly lighter than the Tempo Next Percent here. Whether that's to do with the kind of the air pod that they use in the forefoot, probably adds a bit of weight overall. But like they try and highlight with this shoe, it is a kind of a training model. You wouldn't really want to race in it. That's where the Alpha Fly or the Next Percent kind of come in. They're lighter shoes, they're much more responsive, and actually you feel like you are running way quicker in them. So this is doing its job in terms of a training shoe for those quicker training runs, speed sessions, tempo runs, etc. So but yeah, as I said, it's not the greatest on wetter conditions. I much prefer the Carbon X for that. And if you want a slightly lighter shoe, I'd certainly push you in the direction of the Carbon X for your training model, like this kind of sits in that category of. But overall, when you can't really run slow in it, even when you're kind of warming down, you kind of naturally want to go slightly faster. The response that the shoe gives you and the way that it kind of propels you forward is pretty good. I was a little bit worried to start with. It's got a very knitted upper, okay, as you can see, and also the kind of the way that the lacing system comes in. I know it's probably quite difficult for you to kind of see there, but I was a little bit worried that it was going to feel a little bit too roomy. I haven't got, say, a particularly wide foot, but I certainly haven't got a narrow foot. Never buy a wide fit shoe in anything. Kind of conventional fitting shoes normally work perfectly well. So I was a bit worried that it was going to, feel a bit weird. You don't notice it at all. Okay. Nice heel fit. The way that it actually grips your socks at the back, so there's no kind of movement, your foot's not kind of sliding around. As I said, I just think it's purely, probably could do with being a little bit firmer. but it's super cushioned, and certainly the impact on the legs and the joints is pretty good. But yeah, could probably do with being a little bit more responsive, certainly if you want to turn your legs over that little bit faster. And in the early stages, I'm hoping that after I've used it a few times, it might just give a little bit more. You can really hear the clumpiness of the shoe, so certainly louder than anything I've kind of ever used before. You don't feel like you're soft on your feet like you would be in other shoes. And I take myself back to the Carbon X there, or even like the Next Percent. Even though the carbon plate's in the shoe, you can't hear it, so you can do with this. Yeah, all around I'm pretty pleased with the way it was. I'm just going to go and analyse my run. I'll probably load it up onto this so you can see what I was doing on Strava, or go and check it out just to see what my splits were, and kind of where I ran, to try and get an idea of kind of what I was doing. But no, it's all right. It's a good shoe. I'll definitely do more training sessions like this in it, and I'm kind of hoping it will be over time a bit more like the Hoka shoe was, where I just needed to maybe just do 1 or 2 runs in them just to bed them in a little bit, and then they kind of were perfect. So I'm hoping this is going to feel much the same. But no, definitely worth, if you like the fit, if you like that kind of shoe, if you want something to help you, just on those speedier runs, something just to use for that. This is definitely something that doesn't sit in that majorly expensive category. I think it's still cheaper than a Carbon X anyway, and the new the Rocket X that's come out. But it's a shoe that you're going to put some miles in. Maybe not just to go out and run mile after mile, but certainly on those slightly shorter, quicker runs, or if you've got a long tempo run, come out perfect shoe for that. But yeah, I'll hopefully get a chance to use them a little bit more if it stays drier, and I can do that session again in the dry. It'll be good to see how the shoe performs, because I did feel at times I was just losing a little bit of traction. But no, all around pretty good, pretty pleased with how I felt. And yeah, we'll take it from there, keep planning. My training is still geared at running a quicker 5 and 10k if any come about. So the aim is to just stay in shape, keep knuckling down, and see what comes about in the next few months anyway. So have a good day all, and I'll hopefully see you all soon.